Good evening, County Board Supervisors, staff, and guests. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. First, sign in. Sign in. You have new tablets. Just push the button.
No. They have new iPads.
Yes, they do. I'm connected. Why is it not saying that? Simeon? He's not here. Okay.
Okay, so you have 17 present.
3 absent, 4 absent. All right. All right, we have 17 present, 4 absent, so please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
You should be moved now.
So why isn't somebody doing that?
It takes some time to get push stuff.
We have a new system, so just bear with us this evening.
Now you're on the agenda.
I need a motion.
There is.
Yep.
All right.
Just read.
All right, a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a second by Supervisor Booty. All in favor, please vote your ballot. We have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so the agenda has been approved. Moving on to approval of the minutes. I have a motion by Supervisor Huffsberger and Supervisor Cleveland. Were there any corrections or questions on the minutes? If not, please vote your ballot. All right, we have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so the minutes have been approved. Moving on to the public participation. Is there any? No? All right, moving on to special business. We're going to discuss the strategic planning process, and Todd will take us through that.
Hello. So I discussed the strategic planning process with the Administrative Services Committee. That's been our process in the past. For those of you who don't recall, they've kind of been the primary committee as it relates to the committee that I work directly with. And the strategic planning process has been a part of the administrator's evaluation that you may recall. So one minor change I was hoping to make based on the strategic plan being adopted in August of '24 is to eliminate a piece of the process for every other year. So right now, the process has been, for the last 10 years, we get together every year. Department heads provide trends and discuss those with the home committee. And then department heads and county board supervisors get together, and you'll remember kind of a workshop, a review of what strategic planning is. And then from there, we establish the SMART goals. The SMART goals are refined, put together by me, and then presented to the full county board for adoption. The part I'm suggesting that was supported by Administrative Services Committee is that we would do every other year where we would get together, review those trends, and make SMART goals. And instead of doing that in 25 or odd years, I would prefer that we have home committees develop the SMART goals based on the trends presented by department heads. Those SMART goals by committee would be provided to me for development of a plan. And if you recall, we need to review those SMART goals to make sure that we have capacity and that we can achieve everything that we have on our strategic plan, because it's been an annual process that we've put in place. So my suggestion is then on even years, when we have a new board seated, there's an opportunity to get together, with department heads, have me describe, explain a little bit about our process and what strategic planning is overall and how we accomplish it here, and then go forward and do the trends and the SMART goals. So my suggestion is we just do that every other year rather than every year. We've been doing the trends, and it's been a little bit challenging to do those annually because they're not shifting that much. So it makes much more sense to me to have that as an every other process.
Are there any questions? I see no questions. Okay, do we need a motion on
Nope.
that? Okay. All right, we don't need a motion on that. It's just for your information. That's how we will move forward with the strategic plan. All right, moving forward, we're going to review and approve the 2025-26 County Children with Disabilities Budget. And Todd is going to, who's going to run us through that? Todd?
I can do that.
All right. You should have that in your packet.
So the process for the Children's Disabilities Budget is statutorily the Calumet County Children's Disabilities Board has the authority to adopt the budget and present it before the county board. What we've been doing because of our county rules is we've also been including the step of Administrative Services Committee. So the budget you have has been unanimously approved by Administrative Services Committee and the Children's with Disabilities Board. It's done at this time of the year. For those of you who may be new to this, is because it's a school year. So this is for the 25-26 school year, so it's a different fiscal year than the county calendar year. I can do a quick run through and then answer any questions you may have. The portions of the budget to pay particular attention to at the top of the chart where it starts with the $2,162,000 and goes across to the right, that is the tax levy support for special education for the 5 school districts in Calumet County. And you may recall that those portions of the county that have these school districts are the only ones that are taxed for the special education process. So that's Brillion, Hilbert, New Holstein, Stockbridge, and Chilton. So if you're an Appleton representative, for example, you have a separate system for special education. It's not a part of the Calumet County special education. So that is the tax levy support. So that goes up roughly 5% from what it was as the 2024-25 budget on the far right-hand side. The state resources below that, so the education board allocation and special education and school-age parent aids, are those that we receive from Department of Public Instruction. So those are state revenues. You will see the increase in the state revenues because those are increased based on our expenditures from the previous year. Below that, district support, we have cost-sharing agreements with the school districts to support paraprofessionals and teachers. Those we enter into every school year, and those have been negotiated over a period of time. If you recall, CISA 7 had this. We contracted with CISA 7 to do this. Those contracts were established many years ago over a period of time. And that accounts for the $49,135 and the $350,000. And below that are all of the expenditures associated with special education. So we have the director, who's a county employee, Joanne Metzen, the support and service coordination for her office, and then we have the indirect costs associated with this program. You'll see the significant difference from $80,000 to $280,000. From 24 to 25. The $80,000 that was allocated when we first initiated the program, county operated, rather than administration through CESA 7, funded an additional position specifically for HR because we were hiring all the teachers and all the paraprofessionals and then paying them and entering into the contracts with them. I suggested and increased that by $200,000 because those are the indirect costs associated with running the program that were not previously allocated. So they're not additional positions or additional people. They are allocating administration, HR, and finance, for example, or IT. And this makes a better use of those funds. It maximizes our revenue in that area. And it's an appropriate cost allocation. And those are always audited and confirmed by our cost allocations that we go through annually as well. The costs below that are primarily salary and fringe. So as you can imagine, it's mainly people-driven, so there are mostly salary and fringe attached to the expenditures. And there were some assumptions that are included in those increases. And those have to be included prior to really county board action or some knowledge about things like health insurance or pay increases. So these are estimated at a 10% increase in health insurance, with everything else remaining the same, including the county contribution. And they include a 2% pay increase, which has been our standard, kind of a typical approval process that we do on wages. There are some costs associated with the program that the county funds, such as supplies for the school districts. We maintain those at the same level as we had previously. If you're interested in more detail, I have that, but you have a summary document before you.
And this is not on the levy.
No, so it's, the other thing to remember about special education, it is excluded from the levy limits. So, as you know, net new construction drives our ability to increase the levy for county operations, but special education by law in the state of Wisconsin is excluded from that statutory levy limit, which is why that additional indirect cost is a benefit for the county as well. And then I would take any questions after that high-level explanation.
If you have any questions, would you please press your button to request? Supervisor Stockman.
Thank you. So Todd, you probably know where I'm going to go with this, but is this the same budget that you and I discussed? I thought it was going to be broken out by school district this year. Is that not the case, obviously?
The cost-sharing agreements continue to be broken out by school districts. The funding allocations are done always in its entirety. So then we staff, this staffing is status quo. So what, I guess I can explain what you're referring to. How about that?
Yep.
So we have been negotiating, I'll call it, with New Holstein superintendent regarding cost allocation to special education. So over 40 years with CESA 7 administering this, they have entered into agreements without real, I would say, cost methodology attached to it. So if there was a need for a school expenditure, Nissan would come and talk to me about, or previous administrators, what they may need for paraprofessionals and what they may need for special education based on students moving across school districts. And the superintendent in New Holstein has indicated that the methodology does not meet their needs and that they are short-staffed for teachers and paraprofessionals. So the cost-sharing agreements have been going back and forth whether or not New Holstein wants to pay for their, what we say is their portion versus what he indicates he needs to be able to run special education in New Holstein. And we don't entirely disagree with that. This, having been developed over 40 years, is taking us longer than we had anticipated to be able to come up with a methodology that would meet the needs of the school in New Holstein. So they have been asking for an increase in funding. We have made modifications on their behalf. We've made changes to the cost-sharing agreement. We've allowed positions to be filled. We've funded substitute care teachers, for example. But this is not the new methodology. The new methodology won't take place until the next school year because of our challenges at the county level, and I've been very clear with New Holstein about that because of our finance situation and things moving more slowly. So what we've been doing now is contracting with Baker Tilly to assist because they have people that are experts in special education, DPI funding, and then coming up with a methodology about how do we make the money follow the student or meet the needs within each separate school district. I would say we're probably not as far off as the New Holstein School District believes we are, but definitely we need to make some adjustments. The challenge with that is there's only so much money within our overall system, so then decisions need to be made about other school districts and how they're funded as a whole. So this represents increases, but along the same methodology. And they're aware of that.
And Dan's on board with that as of now?
On board, I couldn't say that.
Okay.
I couldn't say that. He didn't come to the meetings, he hasn't called me about the budget increases, but he knows that we've been modifying the cost share agreements.
Right.
So, I don't believe it would come to as a surprise to him. We're trying to make that work for them in other ways that we possibly can.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? I don't see any other questions, and I have a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a motion by second by Supervisor Steer to adopt the agenda. If there are no other questions, please vote your ballot. We have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so the budget has been adopted. Moving on to resolutions.
Resolution 2025-09, resolution to increase the hourly rate of pay and mileage reimbursement for Calumet County Condemnation Commissioners, introduced by the Admin Services Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Schwallenberg and a second by Supervisor Huffberger. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The resolution you have before you is an attempt to increase the hourly pay to something that's reasonable. And if you look at it, this was adopted in 2008, and it's my understanding we haven't had this committee or commission meet in those years since. But regardless, we're recommending this rate of pay increase because it's commensurate with what is reasonable pay for the attorneys involved. Secondly, I think you should realize, or maybe you don't realize, but this should not have any impact on the county levy or budget because we're kind of recognizing the rate of pay, but it's paid by the people that are seeking the condemnation. So the county does not actually pay this when it comes down to it. At least that's my understanding. If there are any other questions, I'm sure Todd or Kimberly can speak to this.
Are there any questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2025-10.
Resolution delegating the authority to enter into settlement agreements with opioid defendants to the designated county officer, introduced by the Admin Services Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Elliott. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We've had several resolutions recently about this opioid process that we're going through. This is simply another way to smooth the operation. It allows us to delegate to the administrator and or his designee the right to make decisions on this because many of these things come in are time sensitive and we don't have time to have committee and board meetings to approve this stuff. So we're basically allowing the administrator to take action on these things should they come up. So this is sort of cleaning it up and making it possible for us to act quickly if something comes up.
Any questions on this resolution? Supervisor Tunis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was wondering what other counties are doing. Are they doing something similar? And I noticed that it said that it would be, discussed with you, but what about the rest of the county board? Will we be kept apprised of what's going on?
Do you want to answer? I'll turn it over to our corp counsel.
Sure. So this has been going on, I think, for 5 years now, the opioid litigation. And in the past, every time there has been a settlement, it has come to the full board. Unfortunately, when it comes to the full board, oftentimes we don't know how much we're getting because the final amounts aren't determined until they know how many litigants are participating. And oftentimes, we don't know the exact amount until we get the deposit. So in this case, 70 counties, I believe, signed on to this litigation from the get-go. Milwaukee was on their own, Dane was on their own. I think City of Milwaukee went on their own, and City of Madison, I think, maybe went on their own. Everybody else is in the same litigation unit. So every county's doing exactly what we're doing, except for Milwaukee County and Dane County. We present the same resolutions, we present the same agreements, and we get the same agreements. So every county surrounding us is doing exactly what we're doing.
That's not exactly what I meant. Is every county designating a certain person to negotiate these?
That's what they've asked all 70 counties to do, so I'm assuming that. I have not reached out to all 70 counties, but I know Outagamie's doing it. We often don't know exactly what the other counties are doing, but the litigation team asked us to do it, so I doubt they're not doing it.
Okay, and the other thing is, will there be, we have a monthly report from our administrator. Will there be some kind of update on what's going on with that then as things progress?
I can do that, Kathy. What I would say to this as well is there's really not a lot of negotiating power that you're providing me. Because we don't say no, typically, we are taking the advice of our attorneys, as Kimberly described. So if that's a concern that you're thinking, well, we're kind of abdicating some responsibility to the county administrator that we may or may not want to do, there isn't much of all the other responsibilities I have. This one, I don't really carry a lot of weight.
There's
In
really
this
none.
one, it's just we agree.
Yeah,
So
there's-
I would
there's none.
agree to provide you, or Kimberly will agree to provide you with an update at county board, whether that's by a report, or if you would like, in my report, or if you would like Kimberly to update on the opioid litigation, we can certainly do that.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to supervisor reports. If you have a report of any meetings or seminars, you would kindly please press your button to speak. No one? Mary, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Well, we haven't had a lot of meetings lately. I guess that's probably why, that we just happen to have. The Health and Human Services met, and I believe those are our 2 new student government people sitting over there. Wave, there you go. The one is from.
We have Orion and McKenna.
Yeah, thank you. I'm terrible at names. One is from the Berlin School District, and the other from Kaukauna School District. So we welcome you, and they were really active at the meeting. The hospice, our hospice unit did a survey. It was called a survey. Anyway, there was only one deficiency found, and they were already working on that deficiency before it was mentioned to them. And they were just thrilled because the people were happy with everything that was done, and some of the things that they were doing with their bags that they carry for treatment and stuff gave the state an idea. I'm not going to say anything about the Appleton office because I believe somebody else will say something about that. Parks were, and I may have reported at the last meeting, I'm not sure. The trail from County Park to Ferry Springs Road is now open. And we had talked about that for years, so that's a connection to get to High Cliff, if you want to walk from High Cliff to County Park. We also have, I believe, the primitive sites are done. These are walk-in sites for camp, for tents only, but they will have water. So, and they're on our northern property. The dump station on the south side isn't open yet. It should be soon. Ledgeview, hopefully will be finished sometime in August. The office and all the, where we had our animal displays and the classrooms were all being remodeled out there. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Schwallenberg. We have the county administrator's report. Oh, excuse me, Supervisor Diedrich, sorry about that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I snuck in at the last second because I wasn't sure if the administrator was going to point out our new finance director. So I just hope that I know it's in your report, but just want to be sure we don't miss that. Thank you.
Do you want us to introduce him? Do you want us to introduce him?
Yeah, I will.
Mike, okay. All right, then we have the county administrator's report. Was there any questions regarding his report? Okay.
So Mike is here, and he is going to introduce himself. We put it in the report, didn't quite get on the agenda, so, but because it's in my report, I had asked Mike to stop down and introduce himself to everyone so that you can put a face with the name, so if you want to come up.
All right, good evening, everyone. Mike Stegbauer. I'm from the Appleton area. A little bit about me. I come from a pretty diverse background of IT and finance. I do hold a certified public accountant, management accountant, and information systems audit certifications. I have roughly 15 years or so, mostly in the private sector. I did start out my career with the DNR. I was there for about 4 years, where I learned very quickly a key passion for speaking for the people. I enjoyed preparing budgets there and also working very closely with the governor's office. So that naturally kind of led me towards this opportunity. I definitely love going through changes, and the finance director opportunity right now is faced with a lot of changes and key opportunities to kind of build out for the future. So that's what I'm very hopeful and excited about, and look forward to kind of working with everyone in this room.
Well, we welcome you aboard, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, we have an appointment to the Calumet County Health and Human Services Board, and the administrator is recommending the appointment of Judy Hartle to fill a vacancy. The new term will expire 4/2026. I have a motion by Supervisor Schwallenberg and a second by Supervisor Huffberger. Are there any questions regarding this appointment? If not, please vote your ballot to confirm. We have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that appointment has been confirmed. The other appointment is to the Zoning Board of Adjustments, and this is recommending the appointment of Shane Pike to fill the vacancy on the Calumet County Zoning Board of Adjustments. That new term will expire July 15th, 2028. And if there are no questions on that, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Huffberger to confirm that appointment. Please vote your ballot. We have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that appointment has been confirmed. Our next regular meeting date will be August 19th at 6 p.m. And if there are any more questions, we have completed the agenda, so I will adjourn the meeting. Drive safely home.